Good afternoon, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my thoughts and contemplative time have been all about food and love. And I recently wrote a newsletter out to clients to talk a little bit about the energetic principles that we're all sharing with each other. And today, I thought I would focus this on food. That newsletter was about weight gain and loss, and I'll probably put a link to it just below this video on YouTube so you can look at that too. But in the meantime, I thought that this would be an important video to get out there because, of course, we all love to eat, and of course, we all love to eat good food. And who doesn't love love, right? So we all love love. And these two things are actually closely connected too. So I thought I'd start with this quotation that I came across, which is by someone that you might know. It's by Julia Child, and we know that she was a great chef. So her quotation says, "Food, like love, is a deeply emotional matter." Food, like love, is a deeply emotional matter. And this is so interesting that it is a deeply emotional matter. Again, we eat regularly, whether you eat once a day or you eat several times a day. Food is deeply emotional in terms of, oh, I love this food. This makes me feel so good, or this doesn't make me feel so good. But it often is this tastes so good, or this doesn't taste so good, right? So the essence is it feels so good. It feels so good to eat after I haven't eaten for some length of time and I'm really hungry. It feels so good, right? That feeling is a very high vibration feeling of appreciation. We have that thankfulness for that food, right? Now, you know that there's a few things that I'd like to cover in this video. And because I just mentioned thankfulness, I wanted to talk about the fact that many people have been brought up, many of us have been brought up saying that, you should say grace before dinner or your meal. And some people will think of a higher power, a consciousness, the universe, the farmers, anything that you want to be grateful for the food that's in front of you, the cook, right? That anything, there is that gratitude before you even put that first bite of food in your mouth, right? Yet most people, even if they're thanking each other for cooking, they'll be eating at the time they do it. Oh, this tastes good. Thanks for making it, right? That sort of idea. So this mindful attention to that gratitude moment, only 5 or 10 seconds before you put that first bite of food in your mouth, is a wonderful practice to bring that energy into your system. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is that, yes, I believe that there are a lot of people that are cooking. There's maybe more people who prefer to order something out, and whether it's once a week or several times a week, we know that there's different energies of food, right? So we talk about the soil depletion of minerals and vitamins. We talk about the lesser quantities of nutrition in our food from a molecular level. And we know that it's traveling some distance to get to our grocery stores, and it travels to get to our home and might sit in our fridge for a little bit longer than we want to. So there's all the time that also depletes some of the really vital energy that's in that food. But another energy that is going into that food regularly is what we put into it. So if I'm cooking a meal, and I love cooking meals, I love especially sharing food. So, of course, I feel that there's a great love that I put into creating something. It could be the simplest thing that I'm creating, but there is this energy of love and appreciation. First of all, that I can, right? Because there's a number of people that don't know how to cook, or maybe they don't like cooking. And then there are people who actually do regular cooking and they don't like it. And that feeling is going into the food. What other energy is going into the food is if I've had a really not easy day all day long, I've come home after a busy day, maybe I've had some communication with a person who was not kind, maybe I'm thinking about or worrying about a patient case even. Any of those thoughts that are in my mind, remember, thoughts are energy, and that energy is going into the food that I'm eating or I'm serving anyone else. And so I have to be mindfully attentive to make sure that the thoughts, the energies that are going into this food, are very positive. Now, the energy in your home will be a certain level too, right? So if someone's arguing in the background and you're thinking about that as you're cooking, that energy is also being absorbed by the food. And this is really important to remember, that energies in our environment are then affecting affecting the food that we're preparing and then affecting whoever we're serving. So this is really important to be mindfully aware of, because if we can be in a peaceful space, right? It's just this whole idea of something that not a lot of people have these days, right? It's this peaceful space of, I'm cooking this meal. That's all. Not, oh, I'm cooking this meal, right? Not that, or I'm so tired. I didn't even feel like cooking and I didn't want to cook today. I wanted to just get something out. That sort of idea. If all of that energy is coming from you, whether you're speaking it or not, that energy is still flowing from your thoughts into the food that you're serving, which doesn't really help to lift the energy in your home or yourself. So I wanted to share this quotation by Sri Chinmoy, and this quotation says, "Peace is not the absence of power, peace is the presence of love. Peace is not the absence of power, peace is the presence of love." So remember that when you're thinking and feeling in this loving space, I'm loving making a meal for whoever you might be, even if it's just for yourself. I love being able to create this meal for myself. And when you're not feeling good, you're probably not loving it. I'm loving the idea of I'm going to be eating soon, right? That's enough for you to think about. I love the fact that I've got this food to eat, right? All of that is that loving energy that goes into your food and then helps you. And quite honestly, and whoever you're serving, quite honestly, there's such a power to this power of love. And so many people have moved away from this energy because there's responsibilities and concerns and worries and things to think about that constantly come up in the mind. Yet, unless we focus our attention on the energy we want to cultivate within ourselves and those around us, we won't mindfully bring it to our lives. So, this is an easy way. You just have to be mindfully attentive to insert this directly into your food. This is coming into your food because that is your intention of sharing that energy. So, that is what I wanted to share with you today. I also wanted to share with you just a thought about takeout or eating out. And remember that that also has a different energy to it. So you might think that, oh, I feel so comfortable and so happy when someone takes me for a meal, or I get to go out for a meal and feel so much better to be able to order something in and all of that. Maybe I can afford it, so that makes me feel good. Or maybe I really just like this meal that I'm going to go eat. Anything. I love being able to eat out. So if that is you, remember that the energy of the food that you're receiving is a little bit different. Now, the person who's cooking it might love cooking, but you remember that when you're buying from someplace, there is a commercial aspect to getting that food. That place is making money on you getting the food. And this, of course, is okay. That's a transactional experience, right? It's transactional. I give you money, you give me food, and that's good. And it evens things out. But to come out ahead, it's not easy to get extra loving energy from that when you're buying food, right? So to understand this idea that we're talking about, wow, the world is becoming so commercial, everything for a cost and everything has such a price tag on it and everything is so expensive these days, and it is. And life is expensive, and we can have an appreciation for people who are making our food. So that's good. We can start with that appreciation before we start eating. So that helps that food energy. But at the same time, recognizing that if we're eating out regularly, we are contributing to this energy in the world today, that everything is transactional. And if we want to rise above that, if we want to be in a slightly different space, a transformed space, then this is the time to be mindfully aware of, do I need to eat out regularly? And what am I contributing to? Is it for my ease? Is it because it makes me feel good? Is it because I don't know how to cook? Or is it because I'm consciously contributing to commercialism? So you will think about that. And I would like you to at least spend a moment to have an awareness of what our thoughts, words, and actions are describing about us, right? That this is a good awareness to have about our own experience in whatever we do. And then finally, I thought I'd finish with this one quotation, which is by Pablo Neruda. And it says, "To feel the love of people whom we love is a fire that feeds our life." To feel the love of people whom we love is a fire that feeds our life. And remember, this loving energy that you can put into the food that you serve or you eat is a fire that feeds your life. And if you're putting out the fire by thinking of not so positive things as you're cooking and preparing your food, and all of that energy is going into your food, remember that you are feeding yourself with those energies rather than the energy of love. So today I hope you will think about that. I hope you will even think about this before your next meal, to just spend 5 minutes for gratitude and appreciation, and then put some love into that food, and then eat the food. I wish you a fabulous day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.